Now, before going into further details about the structures of the heart, let's take an overview of the surfaces of the heart. The heart basically has three surfaces. The anterior surface, which is also known as the sternocostal, that is actually the front view of the heart. Then posterior surface, that usually shows its base, and is the backside of the heart. And then the inferior surface, also known as the diaphragmatic surface, where we will take its downside view. Starting with the anterior or front view of the heart. If we look at the anterior surface of the heart, we can see a triangular apex of the heart resting on the diaphragm. Then there are two auricles called the left auricle and the right auricle, visible on the anterior side of the heart. When each atrium is not filled with blood, its outer portion deflates to resemble a wrinkled flap. This expandable atrial appendage is actually called an auricle. In the past, atriums themselves were called auricles. Then there is a right atrium and right ventricle, and also a portion of the left ventricle can be seen from the anterior side, but the left atrium can only be seen on the posterior side of the heart. Then we can see a prominent venous structure in the thorax that merge into the superior vena cava that enters the right atrium. Similarly, a prominent arterial structure is also visible, which mainly starts from the ascending aorta and then divides into three main branches. On the right is the brachiocephalic trunk. Middle one is the left common carotid artery, and the left one is left subclavian artery. Another visible structure from the anterior side of the heart is the pulmonary trunk that consists of the left and right pulmonary artery, which are mainly involved in taking deoxygenated blood toward the lungs. Then there is ligamentum arteriosum, which is a small ligament that attaches the aorta to the pulmonary artery. And lastly, on the anterior side of the heart, we can see two coronary sulcus or grooves that mark the division between ventricles and between atria and ventricles. These coronary sulci are coronary right atrioventricular sulcus and anterior interventricular sulcus. So this was all about the anterior side of the heart. Now we will look at the posterior surface of the heart. The left ventricle makes up a large portion of the posterior surface of the heart. We can also see the left atrium and a part of the right atrium from the back of the heart. Other visible structures from the posterior view of the heart include superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Left and right pulmonary arteries were also visible from the anterior side. Left and right pulmonary veins that were not clearly be seen from anterior side. The aortic arch, that is a curved part of aorta. And lastly, on the posterior side of the coronary sulcus, there is a venous structure called the coronary sinus. That is actually a collection of coronary veins, which collects blood from heart muscle tissues or myocardium. Now the third and last surface of the heart is its inferior or diaphragmatic surface. From the inferior side, we can see cardiac apex, some parts of the left and right ventricles, with posterior interventricular sulcus, inferior vena cava entering the right atrium. The left atrium can also be seen inferiorly. The coronary sinus is also visible with the crux of the heart. That is actually the point where the coronary sulcus meets with the posterior interventricular sulcus. Pulmonary trunk, part of superior vena cava, and the aortic arch can also be seen from the inferior side of the heart. So this was all about the superficial view of the heart, where we looked at the important structures of the heart from all sides.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.